discuss the significance of sample return missions from moon with specific reference to China's Chang'e-6, because not every sample return mission would be from far side, right? तो sample return mission का significance क्या होता है? With specific reference to Chang'e-6. इसके आंसर पे आते हैं, but पहले let's study this topic. We know that China का जो moon mission है, that was Chang'e mission. They had Chang'e 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chang'e 4 में they became the first country to land on the far side of the moon. Chang'e 5 में they landed on the near side of the moon and brought material back. In 2020, they were able to bring material back from China. But in Chang'e 6, जो अभी गया था, they landed on the far side of the moon. Chang'e 4 had become the first mission to land on the far side of the moon. Chang'e 6 became the first mission to land on the far side of the moon and bring material back from there. अभी तक on Earth, no one had material from the far side of the moon. US had material from the near side of the moon. Russia had material from the near side of the moon. No one had material from the far side of the moon. So Chang'e 6 has become the first mission to bring rock and soil samples from the far side of the moon. Got it? तो सबसे पहले जैसे हम definition से ही शुरू कर रहे हैं Chang'e 6 के, it's a lunar mission by China which landed on the far side of the moon. ये क्या हो गया? हाँ, it's a lunar mission by China which landed on the far side of the moon and became the first mission globally to bring back rock and soil samples from the far side. This is अगर Chang'e 6 देखो, we have seen James Webb Space Telescope पे क्वेश्चन आ गया था, Juno mission पे क्वेश्चन आ गया था. Those were the most important missions of those 3-4 months which were in news. तब वो सवाल आया था. Last year they asked question on Chandrayaan 3, detailed question on Chandrayaan 3. That was 1 month back. Abhi 3-4 months before your examination, one of the world's most important mission is Chang'e 6 mission. So though they haven't asked question on China's mission so far. अभी तक international missions की बात करेंगे तो after 2013 there have been 2 questions, one on Juno that was asked in 2017 mains and other one in James Webb Space Telescope that they asked in 2021 or 22. है ना? तो अब Chang'e 6 is उतना ही significant एक program that we should be able to study and we should be able to write a good answer on. तो सबसे पहले when you will have a question related to this, you should be able to write a simple definition. It is China's moon mission under which it landed on the far side of the moon and became the first mission to bring rock and soil samples from the far side. Full stop. Simple definition. Itna. Okay. Now, where had they landed? They had landed. So, यहाँ पे the sample has been collected from one of the oldest and largest lunar crater, South Pole Aitken Basin. Now, you may say कि ये overkill है, extra knowledge, excess knowledge इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, जरूरत है. क्यों है? देखो, largest lunar crater, मून का सबसे बड़े craters में से ये एक है. When we are taking samples from here, we'll be able to. What is a crater? Crater कैसे बनते हैं? Collision with rocks or volcano eruption, right? In both the situation, collision भी हुआ. हाँ, come back to. तो Chang'e 6 definition. Will we be able to define it? अच्छे से. Now, what is the significance of it getting sample from this crater? I was telling you because we'll talk about कि जैसे Juno के बारे में पूछा था कि Juno जुपिटर के ओरिजिन को समझाने में कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है. चंद्रयान ये Chang'e 6 मून की ओरिजिन को समझाने में कैसे हेल्प कर सकता है. तो when it is taking samples from here, what is the advantage? Advantage is it can tell you about crust, mantle, अगर volcanic eruption से वो crater बना है, या फिर it can tell you about collision के बाद जो नीचे से sample निकला होगा. तो this point is important. This point is not a extra data overkill. बात समझ में आई? तो हाँ, the sample has been collected from ओल्डेस्ट एंड लार्जेस्ट लूनर क्रेटर साउथ पोल, एटकिन बेसिन, एसपीए बेसिन. इसको याद रखना. विल यूज इट इन आवर आंसर व्हेन विल टॉक अबाउट सिग्निफिकेंस. नाउ what can the lunar samples brought by Chang'e-6 reveal? Significance of Chang'e-6, ये जो लूनर ये सैंपल लेके आए वो क्या बता सकते हैं? अंडरस्टैंडिंग द geographic difference on the moon's two side. देखो, the two side of the moons are different. One side is always facing the earth, the other side is always away from the earth. Now the side which is facing earth, because of earth's magnetic field and other factors, it's protected from a lot of things which reach far side of the moon. तो सन से, सोलर फ्लेयर से बहुत सारी चीजें जो फार साइड पे पहुंच पाती हैं, दे आर नॉट एबल टू रीच नियर साइड. दे आर नॉट एबल टू रीच नियर साइड. तो देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस. वी डू नॉट हैव टू एक्सप्लेन दिस कि डिफरेंस कैसे है ये, बट नियर साइड ऑफ द मून एंड फार साइड ऑफ द मून में देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस. एंड दिस डिफरेंस can be studied only when we had samples from the near side. We never had samples from the far side. This time we have it from far side. This difference will be able to reveal by this. तो एग्जाम में एक ही लाइन एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं देना है, जो आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग इट टू यू इन क्लास, सो दैट विल बी एबल टू write one line properly. One line what? Understanding the geographical difference between the two sides. अब यहाँ पे हमने ये भी बताया कि the two sides are geologically different. It has thicker crust, more craters, and fewer plain where lava once flowed when compared to the near side. Understanding moon's history and origin. Why moon's history and origin? Again, because the collision that created the SPA basin may have excavated enough material from moon's lower crust and upper mantle. So we'll be able to understand the history and possibly its origin. उस material से कि moon बना किससे है, उससे can we understand कि वो अर्थ से निकल के बना है. There are different theories, right? So if material is similar to that of Earth's material, we'll be able to take that call by better understanding it. Then we'll also get to know about the resources. देखो, significance में spoke about पहला significance क्या है? We'll be able to understand the difference between far side and near side. दूसरा, we'll be able to understand the origin or history of moon. तीसरा, we'll be able to understand the resources of. जैसे soil, we have got some soil. Can that soil be used for making bricks? Tomorrow when we'll have more settlements, तो यहां से ईंटें लेके जाके वहां settlement तो बनाएंगे नहीं. We should have mechanism to develop bricks and all those things here, right? Then potential presence of ice at the moon's pole. This ice in future using energy can be converted into hydrogen and oxygen. What can be converted into water and hydrogen and oxygen? Hydrogen is an important fuel for rocket, so for space programs this would be needed, right? And helium-3, availability of helium-3. Helium-3 is an isotope of helium. इसके बारे में we have, like while studying Chandrayaan also we had said that why Chandrayaan kind of mission is important, because of resources, right? तो helium-3 वहां पे है, उसके बारे में पढ़ पाना, and thus ensuring energy resources for India. तो 5 इंडिया बोल रहा हूं, for the world as such. 5 core reasons why this returner is important, or why this material, bringing this material back from moon is crucial, moon is important. Got it? There are some other significance of this sample return mission. पहले first thing is आपसे ये पूछा जाए why or what role will Chang'e-6 play in our understanding of the moon? We'll be able to write 5 points. Near side, far side में difference, उसका history, origin समझने में, understanding because the crater where we have gone is the largest and the deepest one, right? ये वाला aspect हम लिख पाएंगे. Then what did we speak about? कि resources on the moon, है ना? Resources कौन से हैं? What kind of soil, what kind of rock is there? What kind of is water available in that side, and will we be able to use it? And finally, helium-3, है ना? Then in general ये जो रिटर्नर मिशंस होते हैं जो कि सैंपल रिटर्न करते हैं दूसरी जगह से, व्हाट आर देयर एडवांटेजेस? तो इस Chang'e-6 is the first bringing the first sample from the far side, more detailed analysis of these samples will be possible on Earth. When we go for a mission on Moon, we are not able to carry very heavy instruments. But when we go, if we are able to bring those samples here, we'll have much bigger, much powerful instruments, and we'll be able to do much detailed atomic level analysis on Earth. And finally, right now our technology may not be advanced enough. But do you know, in 1970s, USA brought some material from Moon. They were not able to study it that properly in 1970s. But the same material is being studied even today. So we can store these samples and use it for future studies when our technology improves a lot. Got it? So for these reasons, Chang'e-6 ये वाले चीजें जो हम सैंपल लेके आते हैं वो वाले मिशंस आर क्रूशियल. There are some other advantages for China. It reflects on China's space ambition and geopolitical aspiration of China. It enhances international cooperation. This Chang'e-6 mission had carried payload from European Space Agency, France, Italy, and even Pakistan. And Pakistan होना चाहिए, 4 countries का लेके गया था, and Pakistan, etc. नहीं होना चाहिए. So it is showing that it is ready to cooperate and thus enhancing its space relations with other countries. At the same time, it's also Chang'e-6. देखो यहाँ पे, please understand this heading. This heading is about why is it significant for China. जो बाकी पॉइंट्स थे वो सबके लिए वैलिड है, बट इट इज सिग्निफिकेंट फॉर चाइना बिकॉज चाइना का स्पेस एम्बिशन, जियोपॉलिटिकल एम्बिशन दिखा रहा है, चाइना का इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन बढ़ा रहा है, बट एट द सेम टाइम अ थर्ड पॉइंट शुड आल्सो हैव बीन देयर. इट्स आल्सो शोइंग दैट चाइना इज रेडी टू compete with the best of the players. USA is planning to land on the moon soon. China is competing with it. Through this mission, it's showing that also. What is the situation of India? India's plan of sample return mission. India is working on Chandrayaan-4 and it will be a sample return mission. It would be going very soon, but हमारा plan far side पे land करने का नहीं है, because landing on far side is way more difficult. Communication becomes difficult. Near side of the moon is always visible and thus our line of sight communication can happen. Communication on the far side is much more difficult and the surface on that side is also challenging. So we are abhi tak ISRO has not said that we'll be landing on the far side of the moon. So conclusion में क्या बोल रहे हैं? The resources on the moon have contributed to a new race to moon. Both USA and China plan to put astronauts on moon before the end of this decade. The success of Chang'e-6 is an important step towards achieving this goal by China. जो हम achieving the which goal? Putting man on moon or winning the race to moon. उसमें this success of Chang'e-6 is an important positive step in that direction.